Hello, everyone, and welcome to this edition of the Bree Sports Center. I'm your host, Bradford Ambrose. Alongside me, Wayne Epps Jr. and Haley Thompson, sports editors at the Breeze. And Haley, today we're going to start off with football. They lost 29-22 at the University of Delaware this past Saturday. Talk about their performance.
Yeah, it was a pretty disappointing loss, honestly. They, at halftime, went to the locker room with a 19-7 lead. It honestly was looking like it was JMU's game from the very beginning. They were dominating in all of the numbers. I mean, rushing, passing, everything. So for them to come back out, and as Birdsong said, it was UD made adjustments and the Dukes didn't. So really, you've got to wonder kind of what they were thinking, but they didn't seem too disheartened by it. Honestly, they were just like, last year the conference champions had 2 losses, so they're just trying to look forward. Some things of note: Daquan Scott, it was his first game under 100 rushing yards, so it was pretty interesting. Neither team really could run the ball. And with Daquan being as important as he has been for the Dukes lately, you know, that really hurt their game a lot. And almost all of Birdsong's passing yardage was in the first half. So coming back and really not having really any kind of offensive numbers hardly in the second half really was kind of the downfall for the Dukes.
All right, Wayne, let's shift gears and talk about field hockey. They are now 5-5 overall and lost to William & Mary this past weekend.
Right, that was also their conference opener too. So it had the 4-3 loss to William & Mary on Sunday. Again, dropped into 5-5 overall. William & Mary had 2 goals, had the last 2 goals in the contest. They scored in the 35th minute and the 67th minute to come away with the win. Now the JMU team dropping the first conference game is definitely not what they want, but they should be able to get their first conference win this weekend against Towson. They're 1-9, so you expect them to be able to right the ship a little bit this weekend. So.
All right, Wayne, and now let's talk about women's soccer. They are 8-5. 8-4 overall, excuse me.
Right, they lost their conference opener as well against William & Mary as well too. Had a 2-1 loss against William & Mary, so that dropped them a little bit. Again, they'll be playing again, have a couple games this weekend. They're playing Delaware this week on Thursday. They'll be traveling out to Delaware on Thursday, and so you look for them to try to get their first conference win then, and try to get back to 500, not drop too low in the conference standings. So.
Right. Okay. And Haley, let's talk about volleyball now. They are struggling a little bit. 6-8 overall. They won their conference opener 3-2 against William & Mary.
Yeah, it has been kind of a rough season. They didn't really do. I don't think they won a single invitational or classic that they were in prior to their conference game. But because they won against William & Mary, I mean, in the end, conference is what matters as far as the team goes. So Janie Goodman, obviously being the star of the team still, freshman, which is a good outlook for the Dukes as far as looking forward. Hopefully they'll keep, winning their conference games.
All right. And now, Haley, let's talk about Andre Nation. Some news broke Monday afternoon that he would be suspended for 15 games this upcoming men's basketball season and would not return until the second CAA game for their season. Talk about that.
Yeah, they haven't come out with a statement yet saying why it happened. The DNR is saying, it's probably a drug charge, or saying he might have failed a second drug test. Nobody's willing to comment. But the last time somebody was suspended for 6 or 15 games, it was the same kind of deal. So you have to wonder kind of what's going on there. But I think that, Brady said that it's a lot of looking at the freshmen and walk-ons. And last year there were 65 starts, I believe, for freshmen on the basketball team, so it's not like we're down and out. I mean, he is a great player, and they're going to miss him on the court, but there are other people, I think, that are going to step up and take that spot and are eager to do so.
And Wayne, their schedule was released several weeks ago, and it was a somewhat difficult schedule for the Dukes. With Andre Nation being out for the first 15 games, talk about how the Dukes are going to have to adjust now that one of their starting players is out.
Right, as Haley mentioned, somebody else is going to have to step up quickly. One of the freshmen is going to have to step up into that role and quickly, like Andre Nation did his freshman year last season. So it's going to give another person an opportunity to shine. They're going to have to perform on the road because we only have a scant few home games really. So and the whole most of that non-conference schedule is like tournaments and stuff early in the season on the road, far away. So they're missing a lot of class time, missing a lot of time away from JMU. So They're gonna have to mature quickly. I think these freshmen they brought in, I think they're quality players, and I don't think they'll have too much trouble with that. But you never know until the season starts. But definitely a big blow because Nation was probably the top returner coming back. He was who everybody had the spotlight on after what he did against Indiana and our loss in the NCAA tournament. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see who steps into that role.
All right, and let's end this show today talking, giving a preview of Saturday's football game against Albany. Albany is a new team in the CAA. Talk about how they've been doing.
Right, they're new to the CAA, but they've struggled. They're 1-4 this season, so you look for January to get that first conference win against Albany. Family weekend this Saturday. But they're gonna have to figure out their running game because I feel like conference opponents are gonna be targeting Daquan Scott. Again, we talked about he had 100 rushing yards in the first few games. So, and this last weekend, the first conference game, he had 51. So, you should really they limited him this past weekend, and I think conference teams are still gonna try to target him. And Birdsong was sacked 4 times. So, the offensive line has to step up against these conference opponents. There's been a lot of talk about how they put on weight and stuff, but they're gonna have to shine these next few weeks so JMU has a chance to make the playoffs.
All right, Haley, anything you want to add about what JMU needs to step up on?
Yeah, I think Wayne's right. We're going to need, a better offensive effort. But on the bright side, looking at our defense, they've been doing really great. They played really well against Delaware, and actually Stephon Robertson just got CAA Player of the Week. So I think that, if we figure out our running game or maybe, Birdsong steps up a bit, we'll be fine because the defense is performing well.
All right, we'll wait and see. All right, thanks for joining us, guys, and thanks for joining us. I'm Bradford Ambrose.